Oh, you roll it. Sorry. The process of songwriting for me changes like track to track, because a lot of stuff for me starts on guitar, acoustic guitar a lot of the time, especially like starting folkier ideas and stuff. I use a lot of alternative tunings because I grew up listening to a lot of folk and blues music, people like Nick Drake, going back Robert Johnson, Charlie Patton, Blind Blake and stuff. But I find using those tunings and using those ideas and like trying to fit it in like a modern pop world is quite exciting. Rather than me sitting down and being like, oh, I'm gonna write a Sabrina Carpenter song or whatever, like I like to try and mix what I've learned as a guitar player growing up as well as a producer. But it kind of changes season to season. So at the minute, like when it's so sunny, I'm writing a lot more soul-y stuff. I'm starting with like a drum groove. So like for example, earlier this week, I just go on Splice, just find drum loops and stuff. And stuff takes so long to load, Stu. Might be a whole lot of song. So this was a loop I was writing to. It's sort of Marvin Gaye kind of vibe. And I just picked up the guitar, played this riff. I mean, I don't even know if this will become a track. Which is pretty soul-y, not like some of my other music. But you can create a groove really quickly, layering these guitars, these little elements. Feels appropriate for the summer, this sort of music. And then melodies and songwriting wise, I try and write everything down in a notebook, try and finish an idea in one setting, otherwise you end up with like loads of half-baked, half-finished ideas. So like, I've had this notebook for like, I think there'll probably be a date on one of them, since 2023, and I've only just finished it, so I don't write that many songs because that's like 3 years. How many weeks in a year? Like 52? Is that right? Weeks in a year. 53? 52. So maybe that does make sense, like in a 400-page notebook. 4 years, that's about right. But yeah, that one was 2022. Didn't do anything with that song. I wonder what the earliest example of something that actually came out is. Didn't do anything with that, didn't do anything with that, didn't do anything with that, didn't do anything with that. That's Nothing to You. That came out. Didn't do anything with that, didn't do anything with that. Butterfly, fan favourite. Look at that, I had no edits. I thought these were perfect. Didn't do anything with that, didn't do anything with that. It is ridiculous, but I do believe in like the process of just like flushing your system of songs. Like I try and just write as many as I can. But I do want to release more of these ideas because there are good songs in here. But I guess sometimes I hold myself to realistic expectations. I think that is the key for me. I think Paul McCartney said it actually, like you have nothing until you have a full set of lyrics. You just have an idea. So when I started writing this thing 2 days ago, it's got, the whole song's there, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, outro, everything. And I don't even know if this will be something I release, but just the process of doing it and going through it and finishing it is as important as starting. And then I sort of reach for the same instruments every time. I've got this little Casio, this electric guitars, obviously, vocals, and just layering these different ideas, like this little synth here. It's just this keyboard. Because I feel like everyone nowadays has a laptop and has like the same plugins and the same instruments and stuff. So if you can find anything that is unique to you, like this toy piano I just bought it off eBay. On so many of the records, I've used the sounds of this machine, like the flute. Don't know if you remember doing the music video for it. Off Butterfly. So that's that one. I can't really play piano. You know, the sound there is so unique and stylized that I feel like it's almost as important as the song, like the choice of sounds and stuff you use. There you go. So, this banjo was given to me when I was at sixth form, and I still have never changed the strings, and it's still rusty. And this is a little 12 string. But the banjo, I mean, you could look at it and hear it when it's in tune. You think it might just be a very country and western instrument, which obviously it is. But I think the banjo has a place within pop music as a tool in production, because it does just cut through. Like, I remember I was recording for one of my mates for one of their records, and there was like this big build-up, like bridge section, and just the sort of the syncopated nature of the banjo and how short the notes are because of how high-pitched it is. It just cut through the mix like amazingly well. And I've used it pretty much on every record that I've put out, even the pop ones. And then the 12 string, I mean, this little beast. I like to use it in the choruses of tracks because you get that sort of wide, shimmery sound, especially when you double up like an acoustic guitar with those high sort of resonant notes. And even though this is a very small 12-string guitar, when you mic it up, it just sounds massive.
Gemini, you and I could never make it last. Some satellite.
And I've gigged with this. I even used it at the Philharmonic. You know, it's such a massive stage, massive PA system. Turning up with this little guitar, plugging it in, sounded like mega.
Last chance. Just fall in love with me, like it was meant to be. It could be easy. It could be easy. For you, I built a home.
So those are my secret weapons in production. It's kind of similar to what I was saying earlier about the Casio. It's just good to have things in your arsenal which sort of make your sounds, your songs, your productions sound like you. So I think those are mine. This was my first electric guitar. I got this when I was about 13 or 14, Lepphone. And at the time I thought it was a good idea to start sanding down the neck. But obviously I didn't have the full commitment. I got scared. I've had that for a long time. This was given to me by my uncle. It's just a Squire Strat, but the action is so high that it's perfect for slide guitar. This acoustic guitar, played pretty much every gig I've ever done. Still with me. It was only a couple £100. And this is sort of my prized guitar, Fender Strat. I suppose my first proper real guitar. Got this as a teenager. But I grew up loving the blues, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix. They all played a Fender Strat, so I had to get one. So yeah, big amp, pedals. I got lots of guitars in a very small flat. There's more guitars than food in this place. So the best show I think I've ever done was earlier this year. I was invited along to play the Philharmonic in Liverpool, actually, with like full orchestra. performed my own music, performed a cover as well, which I've been absolutely shilling on social media. I think I've posted that clip like 10 times. But yeah, it was a real honour to like present my music, have all these amazing musicians, like learn it. It's very humbling to be here. Like I make all my records on a laptop with a broken screen, one microphone, a cracked version of Logic. So come in here. Please don't sue me. So yeah, coming here and like hearing all these amazing musicians playing my music is very surreal, very humbling. So thank you. Because obviously I record everything here and play everything myself, and then being able to, you know, take these very personal tracks where I've played everything and given it to an arranger and a composer and letting them run wild and create all these beautiful compositions. It was like the thrill of a lifetime, to be honest. And I remember going into the first rehearsal with the orchestra, and it was at the college in Liverpool. I was just walking in, she counted in, and then it just this wall of sound around me started, and it was my song, and it was just a very emotional moment for me, to be honest. To be earnest, I felt very humbled to be there, and I just kept thanking everyone. I was like, thanks for bothering to learn my music, like this is insane. But yeah, definitely the most special show I've done ever. All right. That went smooth, man. You nailed those transitions. I was more buzzing about that. But yeah, I'll play the rest of this because it is quite a cool idea. It's like a FIFA song. I think you can, even just listening to the music I've put out in the last few years, you can hear the progression of confidence. I'm not afraid to say really obvious things now, whereas maybe years ago I'd be trying to always reach for like like something a bit more poetic or something a bit more mysterious, rather than just like, I guess like more cliche or more universal topics. But nowadays, like I find joy in trying to write in a more open-ended, universal way and trying to make it interesting, because ultimately like my favourite songs are the ones that are relatable to everyone. Like I was trying to think, what is my favourite song I've written? It's probably God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, and that hook, God Only Knows What I'd Be Without You, on its own written down, it's quite simple. It's a simple concept, people, you know, it's something people throw around in speech, but then within the context of the song, you know, it's beautiful and it's relatable and poetic. One day I'll write a song as good as that. I'll be happy. My dad was a big Beach Boys fan. This was a copy that he gave to me because he's got about like 30 of them. So yeah, still listen to this every week. Like, it's so beautiful, so well produced. It's quite exciting. It's a banger. Like, everyone I've played this to thinks it's probably the best thing I've ever done. But I haven't even got it mixed yet. This is just the demo. And I think it's a good sign when a demo sounds this good.
In my mind, sometimes just your smile makes me cry.
My next project, which is going to be another EP, 4-track EP, it's called 4 Songs for Dancing, which is kind of a stupid title, but in my head this was like, I wanted 4 tracks which are more upbeat, more pop. This is summer, baby. Like, this is going to be an upbeat Euan album. We're done with like being a sensitive singer-songwriter for a bit. We're going to put that to the side and do something like big hooks, more energy, the drums hit a bit harder, a lot more straight to the point compared to like, I guess it was more folk influence, like the records I put out before. But for me, this is like progression, because I think within like folk music, I'm not saying I've completed it, but I've written so many songs in that world that like doing a more pop thing is more of a challenge, and I quite enjoy the challenge of trying to use less words and simpler production, but trying to have more impact. And yeah, that was sort of one of the first times I've written a mission statement down. It's like, let's do something upbeat that people, I think the phrase I used was, people could listen to this when they're getting ready for a night out. That was the moment. I was like, I've never written or released anything that fits that world. It's always like, people have come up to me and been like, oh, this song got me through a breakup, or this song makes you feel emotional. But this was like, this record is gonna help you get ready to go out and have a few drinks with your mates. So that was the mission statement, and I'm really excited to share it. And I've been thinking a lot more intelligently about the visuals, how it's all gonna look. And I started just cutting them out and like laying them out. I'm sort of got into mixed media. I bought a camcorder, I bought an old camera and stuff. I just used the printer at work. Someone's got to use it. Important collaborator for this project was my mixing engineer called Tarek Musa, who's like got an incredible pair of ears, amazing studio, and really helps take the burden of like me trying to mix. I can just give him all the tracks, let him do his magic, and then he just sends a WAV back and it sounds like a record, which is, you know, really exciting. About here, aren't we? Yeah. Ultimately, I guess the elephant in the room making music is how on earth you pay for all this stuff, like making videos, getting stuff mixed and mastered and getting stuff done properly. And I've been very fortunate with like music funding. Like for example, Lymph Academy has been amazing for me, like the funding and the gigs, and like the Lymph orchestrated gig we did at the Philharmonic was amazing. Everyone's very supportive of each other in Liverpool. The venues are amazing, like there's so many places to play, even though I feel like I always end up in like the Jacaranda basement or somewhere. But no, Liverpool's definitely been an incredible place to sort of start my career as a musician. Especially in UK music, the trend at the minute is like all the successful people went to the Brit School, which is obviously a London-based thing. They've got the infrastructure there, the talent development is there. Maybe in other cities like Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, all these other amazing hubs for talent don't quite have the same level of support that obviously London has. And you can see that in like what has come out in recent years in terms of the talent in those cities. But it's bubbling under the surface. There's so many creative people here in Liverpool making cool shit. People who make music, people who film, people who make poetry, writers, like it's all here. It just needs that like leg up. And Lymph Academy has been amazing to provide that, but more can be done. We need more money, guys. We need more money to make more stuff. So yeah, I've been very fortunate in the past few years with social media and trying to grow my artist project online, and I suppose TikTok's been the main driver for that. But it still feels like a bit of a burden sometimes, like having to constantly churn out content. But at the same time, I have to remind myself, it's like this tool I can use to reach thousands of people straight away. Like even 20 years ago, if I wanted to be a musician, I had to have a record deal and make CDs and tour constantly, and obviously I want to do all of those things, but I guess the A to B is a lot more direct. Like the consumers, the audience know what they like. I just try and put as much music as I can up on TikTok, sort of testing the waters, and some days it might get like 20 likes and some days it might get, you know, thousands, and I've built followers on there. It kind of doesn't really mean anything because each video is its own like entity, and it might do well, it might do badly, which can be a bit of a struggle mentally, because obviously if I really believe in a song and then I'm putting it up online and then it doesn't instantly impact the way I want it to, it can, you know, be disheartening. But then you have to remind yourself, I'm not doing this for TikTok video views, I'm doing this because I love writing songs, I love making music. And I do think sometimes, you know, it can be a big distraction because a lot of times I'm making content and I'm sat for hours a day, like filming videos, filming reels, like getting this stuff to put online, when in reality I'd love to just be sitting and writing music and performing. That's probably like the most content I ever feel as a human being is when I'm producing, and just layering and layering and layering, and that excitement as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, you know, it depends day to day, my opinion on social media and on TikTok and on promoting music, because when it's going well, it's great. When it's not going well, it can feel very disheartening. But I just have to sit down and remind myself, I'm not a TikToker, I'm a musician, I'm a serious artist now. I want to write songs, I want to play guitar, I want to play to as many people as I can. And the people who come along for the ride, it's a blessing, so yeah.
One more. Everybody needs a place to hide. Everybody needs a place to hide. Do you wanna be mine? Do you wanna be mine? Thank you so much. The choir of the cavern, everyone.